Welcome to Academy 61 about the landing page. This is a rather special academy. We do not have an audience at this moment for this academy. We run this academy 2 times with an audience, but both times we had some technical issues. So we decided to re-record this academy without an audience. So we have a recording for the website for this academy with no technical issues. So this is about the landing page, as I said. That's not a very complicated feature, so I do not expect that this will take very long. So what we'll do, we'll take a short look at why we should be using a landing page, what a landing page is. Then I will demo how you can configure that landing page in your Nfield surveys, and we'll end with a recap and questions. As I said, there is no live audience for this one, so we don't have questions from the live audience. We had 2 sessions with live audience. I will incorporate the questions that were raised into the presentations. If I skip one of those, I will answer that question then at point 3. So why should we be using a landing page? Well, problem we are trying to solve with a landing page is an issue that we came across some time ago, where we noticed a survey that was having a few hundred completes and almost 500,000 starts. Now that is usually surveys have more starts than they have completes, but this was completely out of whack. Thousands of starts for each successful interview. We had not seen that before, so we wondered what is going on with this survey, and it turned out that this was an open link survey that was placed on social media, and all those starts weren't real people, were bots that were starting the survey and then stopping at the first page. Now, why is this a problem? As you can imagine, doing a survey that costs money, but it is not so that a survey from 20 questions costs twice as much as a survey that only has 10 questions. As a matter of fact, a survey from 20 questions is almost just as expensive to run as a survey of just 10 questions. Costs the vast majority of the costs that we need to make to run a survey is made the moment we start that survey. So that makes it financially very important that we prevent unnecessary starts of that survey, and we certainly cannot have surveys that do thousands or even hundreds of starts for one successful interview. So we try to figure out a solution for this, and most of you will know that one of the things that you can do if you try to determine if someone is a real person or a robot, you can have those captchas that you no doubtedly will have seen on the internet, where you have to see a photo and then you have to identify, for instance, all the buses on that photo or all the traffic lights. We did not want anything like that, because that is a real barrier to entry to enter a survey. We want something simple. We wanted something simple, and we landed on a landing page. Now, what is a landing page? A landing page is simply a web page that you place between the click where you start a survey and the actual start on that survey. So you are directed to a static landing page, and on that static landing page there is again a button. You click that button and that will then really start the survey. This is actually something that we have been doing for quite some time now. We have been doing that on request, and our experience is that this is good enough. This keeps out at least most of the bots. This is an ongoing battle, so that might not be forever, but for now, this is the simplest thing that we can do that actually seems to keep out most of the bots. So that is a landing page, and conclusion, you should use a landing page on an open survey, especially on open surveys that you then where you the link to invite people you then place somewhere on the open internet. So that is what we call river sampling. And the reason why you should use that landing page is to prevent unwanted starts by bots. So with that out of the way, let's go to the demo. Let's actually see how you can configure a landing page in the manager. So let's switch to the manager, switch to the Nfield manager here, and let's create a new survey. Call it landing page. It's an online survey. Let's quickly upload the script so we can actually run a survey. And this script, it's a very simple script. It basically says, let's publish it. And let's copy the test link so we can run the survey. We can see the survey at least once. So it's a simple survey, one question and a second question, and that's the survey. So very simple survey. Let's now say we want to add a landing page to that survey. I then need to go to sample and invitations. And as you can see here, we have a new tab here, which is called landing page. Click on that one. I can actually say, okay, I want to use a landing page, save that. And then I have two options. I can create a landing page or I can import a landing page. Let's start with creating the landing page. So let's create a landing page, and this creates a example for you. I could start editing that example, but for now, let's for the first example only make sure that we understand what that landing page exactly does. So let's accept this example as is. So we'll work with this one landing page, and as you can see, it has a start button to start the survey. So that's it. We have created that landing page. All we now have to do is to actually start the field work. I do not have to publish a landing page. It will use the landing page as it was the moment you start the field work. If you want to change the landing page, you have to stop the field work, do your changes, and then start the field work again. So I can still use the copy live link. So I could still go actually directly in and start the survey. So if I was inviting people directly, I could still use that live link for that. But I also now have, as you could see, a copy landing page live link. So let's use that one. And that will then get us to the example page that we send. And we can click here on start survey, and that will then start our survey again. So that is our landing page. Now let's make our example slightly more interesting. Let's create a new survey. Create survey. Let's call it landing page 2 online survey. Let's create it, upload the script. Same script. Save it. Let's go again to sample and invitations. Let's go to the landing page. Use the landing page, and this time we are not creating a landing page. I will import a landing page. So if I click on that, it will say, okay, which of these landing pages do you want to import it? Well, we have prepared one which is more or less in our own NIPO house style. So let's open that one. The way that you create these, those import files is simply by creating a landing page and then exporting that landing page, and then you can import that file again. So it's pretty simple. We still have the example text here, and we added our own logo, and this is more or less in the in our house style, and we have added terms of service and privacy, which all point to the NIPO website. As you can see, its action on this is open website, and that then points to a specific location on our own website. So we have this example. Let's start editing a bit. Let's say, for example, this is a survey where I want to do a survey for people that are using Nfield. And as a matter of fact, I am not interested in any people that are not using Nfield because I don't have any questions for them. So I actually don't even want those people to start this survey. So, very simple thing to do there would be simply asking that question. Do you use Nfield? I could say, let's put that in bold. Let's have a fancy color here. Normal, the normal editing things I can do here. For those of you that are familiar to our email editor, you will probably have noticed that the HTML editor that we are using here is the same as the one in our email. What we have done, we have created a question. Do you use Nfield? We need answer options for this. One of them would be yes, and that would start the survey, and one of them would be no, and that should not start the survey. So let's first create a place where we can put those buttons. So let's go to blocks, and this one 50-50 looks nice. So let's drop that one here. Then we have 2 places for buttons. Then we need to add those buttons. Close this one again. That is content. I have a button here that I drop and drag to this one, and a button here that I drop and drag to this one. This button should read yes as button text. And then that should start the survey. So the action on this button should not be open a website. It should not be send email or call a phone number. It should be start the survey. And that's it. If I then click this button, that would start the survey. This particular button should read no. I do not use Nfield. That should not start the survey. I actually want to communicate to those people, okay, then we don't have any questions for you. So let's open a website, and let's actually open this website. You've completed this survey. So simply copy and paste this. go back to the manager. Let's maximize the screen again. So that's the URL. That's the URL of the "you completed this survey" page, and that's it. Yeah, well, we don't need to start surveys. This already starts the surveys. Start the survey. So this one we can delete. And then we have our page. Do you use Nfield? Yes, no. Yes, we'll start it. No, will not start it. So let's publish this. And start fieldwork. And let's see if our landing page works. Copy the landing page. So here's our example landing page again. Do you use Nfield? Yes, that should start our survey, and it does. That's nice. And if I use no, it should not start the survey and redirect me to the "you completed the survey" site. So this is one way to where you can make your landing page a bit more fancy than just one static landing page. Of course, I have yes, no here. I have no way of knowing how many people pressed yes and how many people. Yeah, well, yeah, I know how many people pressed yes because they have all started the survey. I have no way of knowing how many people pressed no because I'm not recording this. It's a static website and it immediately goes to our static end page. So if that is information that I would really wanted to have, I need to think of something else. I might need to start the survey actually to do that, or I need to put an ASP page in between. For now, this is acceptable because I'm publishing this on the open web. There is no expectation that this will be a representative, that it will be a representative. So I'm not interested in how many people click no. That's not useful information for me anyway. So, okay. That is the end of our demo. So let's continue from the current slide. So to recap, landing page is configured on the sample tab. As you saw, the landing pages can be combined with normal starts. So you can still use the landing page for those respondents that get in through a website or through social media. But if you also want to directly invite respondents, you can still use the normal start link for that. Landing pages are also available for blueprints. So if you have one landing page that you would like to use over and over again, you can actually create a blueprint with that landing page and then create those surveys from those blueprints. Landing pages can be configured using the Nfield API. So if you don't want to use our interface, you don't have to. You can create your own interface using the API. We have updated our acceptable use policy, and the update means that we now actually expect for every open survey that is published on the web that is using a landing page. So you must use a landing page if you place a link, a open survey link on a website or on social media. And that landing page must have a start link to a survey. That is our recap. Then set questions. As I said, we do not have a live audience. I have incorporated most of the questions into the demo. There was one question that came up, and that was if you could translate those landing pages. At this moment, no. At this moment, there is only one single landing page. So if you need translations, make sure that you keep that as simple as possible and that you have the text on that landing page in the different languages that you want, but you cannot have more than one landing page at this moment. It also is very hard to imagine how translating a landing page would work. Remember, this is for open surveys, so that link is not, that survey link is not linked to any specific respondents, so we don't know what language that respondent should speak. It is just starting from a website. We might take a hint from that website what the language on that website is, if that website offers more than one language. But there is no universal way for websites to actually advertise what language they are using. So that would be custom work if we, from that point, would want to pick up what language that landing page is. So for now, there's only one landing page. That was the one question that I did not answer in the demo. So we are at the final remarks. Recordings of this session will be available later this week. The manuals are already updated. If you have suggestions for a topic, please write to your help desk and we will take that into consideration. The next NIPO Academy will probably be in slightly over a month time, and it will be about the quality control that we are about to release to everyone. That's it for this Academy number 61. Thank you for your attention. Talk to you next time. Bye-bye.